Another little fun tool I wanted to demonstrate is the Polar Grid tool. And you can find the Polar Grid tool right here in your toolbar. If you do not see this, it's usually not in the toolbar by default. Go down to your three little dots and edit your toolbar, and you'll be able to find it and drag it in. Of course, there's lots of other tools you can experiment with too, but we're going to focus on the Polar Grid so we can create interesting radial shapes just like the one you see here. So let's go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to get the Polar Grid tool. And if at any time you want to edit the Polar Grid, double click on the tool in the toolbar. So we're going to double click it, and you're going to get some options. So let's say we have two different things going on here. We have dividers, we have concentric dividers, and we have radial dividers. So I'll do 0 radial dividers, and let's do 5 concentric dividers and show you what that does. So I'm going to click on OK, and now I can hold down Shift and drag and create a quick little radial grid. So this is what the concentric circles, they're concentric, they're complete, they go all the way around. So now, and you can do as many as you want. You can have 50, you can have 2. It's a great way to make certain patterns too that are radial in nature. So let's double click again, and now let's do 5 radial dividers and 0 concentric. And so radial, we'll hold down Shift, make it like a pie chart. So you have your little pie chart of 5 different equally divided pie slices. You can also do a mixture of both. So let's say we want to have 3 concentric circles and 3 kind of pie shapes. Click on OK, hold down Shift, and you can see how it did both of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some digital art that uses a lot of these different shapes. So let's get our radial tool. Let's double click. Let's create 20 different concentric dividers and 20 different radial dividers. And go ahead and click on OK. And let's hold down Shift and drag and create a really complicated radial drawing. So let's make it a different color so that we can kind of see all the different shapes. So here's what we're going to do to create kind of this really interesting pattern art with all these different colors. We're going to use the Live Paint tool. So this is the Live Paint tool. This is what it looks like. If you don't see this, make sure to go into your extra options and drag it right on in to your toolbar. So with the Live Paint tool selected, what it does is I'll zoom in here so you can see it a little better, but you see these 3 different swatches. And what I can do is I can do my left and right arrow keys in on my keyboard, and I can cycle through all you can see over here on my swatches panel. As I move left and right, it selects different colors in my swatches panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on any of these. Let's click on one, and I can click over on my keyboard, and then it'll cycle through all of these colors, and I can put all of these in. And you can also click and hold and get 2 at the same time. So click and hold 2 at the same time. You don't have to do it one by one. You could do chunks. I can just delete some of these swatches so I don't get those colors. And you can do, if you ever have swatches that have folders in it, you could just drag that folder right into the trash can. You can also click on this little menu down here if you just want to show patterns or show different color groups. You can do that as well right here in this little option. So I just wanted these bright, colorful swatches that I can cycle through, and I'm just going to click once and then just do my right keyboard key, and you can see how it's going to cycle through all of these. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I can do this pretty quickly. Click, 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 and there's a black. I don't want the black or the white. So I'm just going to delete those, and I'm going to keep going. That'll take me probably 5 minutes to do all these. You can also do it quicker. You can do any kind of pattern you want. So if you want to click and do all of these, and then cycle through like this, you can do that as well. You can also do this way too. About 4 minutes later, I finally came up with this interesting looking art piece. So I can select this entire object. I could also make it white or any color and switch it to a stroke. And so now I have this interesting web. And then I can select it all again, and I can get my shape builder tool, and I can be cutting out these things. So I'm going to hold down Option or Alt, I believe it's the Alt key in Windows, or Option in Mac. And I can create kind of like cut out different sections of this to make it kind of interesting. This is when it just becomes whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like doing. There's no wrong or right way to create this shape. Just showing you different ways to create fun pieces of artwork. So there's our neat little interesting piece. So you can see all the different patterns that you can create using the Polar Grid tool.